we no recording was not started yet. Okay, so recording has started. Screen shared with you, and you can see the previous lecture and all the examples that we covered. The main important thing that I want you to think about it again in functions is to identify the type of the function and what kind of information do I need or I need to forward to this function, and what will I get from it. This will be very clear when we'll discuss the examples. All right, just a simple or to refresh your memories. Usually the function I prefer, I told you it can be written after the main function or before, and we explained the difference between writing it before and writing it after. But here I prefer to write it before the main function. So after include IOStream and using namespace std, here you can write your functions, whatever the number of functions. All right, and then integer main, and you can call the function here. All right, this is the basic things that I want you to memorize. I want you to remember all the time. So we said we have 4 types of functions. The functions that do not take any arguments and do not return values. The other type is take arguments that doesn't return values. The third type doesn't take arguments and return values. And the last one, which is the most commonly used type, is take arguments or parameters and return values. So this is an example. Write a function that print a message when it's called. If you can see here, I'm not going to explain all the examples that we explained in the previous lecture, but if you can see here, this is the function, and it's written exactly as I told you, after the include and using namespace and before the main. You can write it here, but in this case you have to declare the prototype. For now, just write it before the main function, and that's it. This is another function. Write a function, receive an integer from the main function and print it to the screen. Again, this is the function. And this is the call, 1 second, void print integer of x. Yes. This is an example of how to print it after the main. All right, so this is the function. And this is the call. Here I called the function. I forwarded a to x, then execute it, and that's it. Now, sorry. The other type, write a function that reads an integer from the user and return it to the main. So also this is the function. I called it read integer. And again, I just to let you remember that this doesn't take any arguments and return arguments. That's why I have return, and the type of the function should be at the same type as the returned value. So enter an integer and see in x and return x, and this is the call. Here I called the function. Write a function that takes 2 numbers and return the sum of the 2 numbers. Now here you need to think about what should I forward to this function. It says that 2 numbers. All right, that means x and y, and it return the sum of these numbers. So here integer sum, the name of the function, integer x and integer y, and return x plus y. And here is the call. Here I called it. If you notice that whenever I have return, okay, I have type for the function, and this type should be the same exactly as the type of the variable that will get the result. All right. Now this is just something extra. We used all the functions together. Now I will answer one of these questions. All right, or two. Let's solve this question. Now, what's required from this function? Write a function that returns true if the given number is odd, otherwise it must return false. So I have this function. I'll call it, for example, odd. Why? Because I want to check odd of. Now it's a given number is odd. That means I need to pass a parameter which is integer x because I want to test this x whether it's odd or even, right? Now, what will it return? It will return Boolean. All right, why Boolean? Because either true or false. Or, of course, you can return integer, but 0 and 1. I prefer to use now Boolean to return Boolean. Now, here is the text or the functionality of this function, and it ends with return, okay, either true or false. So what I'll do, I'll forward or I will send a variable to the function. The function will test if the variable or if the number is odd, it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. See how I will write the function. Of course, here, before giving type or anything, I'll call the function as odd. Okay? I want to know what kind of parameters shall I pass? I'll pass integer x. All right? And what the function will return to the main function when it's called. Of course, it will return either true or false. And when I say true or false, it means Boolean. All right. OK, so let's see. Odd or even. Remember this odd or even? We've discussed this several times. And we said here, how to identify a number is odd or even? Anybody can tell me? We said if it's divisible by 2, then it's even, right? Otherwise, it's odd. So how to make sure that the number is divisible by 2? We use the mod operation. Remember that we took it even we checked with 7, with 5, and so if x mod 2 equals 1, what does that mean? That means that the number is odd, else the number is even, right? So this is what I will do when writing the program. I will write the program, the code, if x mod 2 equals 1. What will I do? Return true. Okay, small letter here. Return true. Else, return false. That's it. Okay. Now let's call it here in the main function. Why Boolean? Because it is the same type of the function. Boolean, I'll call it A equals odd of, give me a number, 34. Okay, and see out A. Now if I execute it, what will happen here? Again, when I start execution, the program starts with the main function always. It comes here and see that there's a declaration of variable A, okay, equals odd of 34. Then it knows that there's a function called odd here. It will go to the odd, send 34 to x. Okay, so x is 34 now. If x mod 2, 34 mod 2 equals, it means 34 divided by 2, which is equal 17, and 0 over 2, that means the result is 0, right? So here, if x mod equal 1, the result is 0, then this is false. It will not return true, then it comes here, else return false, okay? If I pass another number like 35, then 35 mod 2 equal 35 divided by 2 equals 17, 1 over 2, then the result is 1, that means it's true out, okay? So this is the program, let's execute it. Okay. All right, so build finished successfully. I can run it now. Okay. 0, right? 0 means false. Here, 0 means false. Let's try another number. Here, instead of 34, I'll send 35. Okay, and terminal, so again, rebuild again, and then run, start debugging. You can see here, it's 1. All right, that means true. So I'll share with you this code. And so this is the answer of this question. Clear? You can copy and paste it and test it, of course. Next question. Prime, I'll keep it for later. This one is a very nice question. Write a function that returns the power of a number, for example, x to the power y. What does that mean? Again, here, you want a function. Okay, give it any name. Now, what should I pass to the function? I'll call it p. Okay. Of. Here I need to pass or to send x and send y. And since I'm talking about multiplication and power, etc., it's better to use them double. Okay, so here double x and double y. Here inside the function, what will I do? I'll find the result. Also, it should be double. R equals. If I send 3 to the power 4, how to find the power? That means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 4 times, right? Then in this case, I need to have a for loop. I will create a for loop for integer I equals 0, I less than y, the power, okay? And of course, I plus plus. Then inside, I will multiply, let's say R equal 1, R equal R times X. Why is that? Because every time I need to multiply the number by itself for Y times. If I send 4, that means I will count 0, 1, 2, 3. That means 4 counts. And with every count, what I do, I multiply the number by itself. All right. So in this case, double R equal 1. Why 1? Because before the loop, if I put it 0, then all the process, the multiplication will be 0 directly. Here for integer I equals 0, I less than y, I plus plus, inside R equal R times X. Okay, and after I finish, return R. If I send, for example, 3 and y is 2. Then r is equal to 1. I equals 0 to 1. That means it will count 0 and 1. Right? Because 2, that means 0 and 1. Now r is equal to 1. Here at the beginning, r is equal to 1. In the first round, r will be r multiplied by x. X is equal to 3. Then the first time it will be 3. The second iteration, r is equal to 3, and it will be multiplied by 3 again, then it will be 9, and this is what I'll get. So let's write this program. Here, I'll change this. Remove the contents of the main function. Here in the function, I will define it as P. I didn't use POW because POW or power is possible, all right? But P is enough. P of. Now what should I send? As we said, double X double. Okay. I have error because I didn't return specify the type of the function. All right. Now r is equal double. R is equal to 1. See, for simplicity, I can do some casting here, but till now we didn't talk about casting. So I will convert this to integer. All right. So that means it's only accept 5.5 to the power 2 to the power 3. The power will be integer only. Okay. Now for integer I equals 0, I less than y. See here, if I didn't specify it as integer, then there will be some kind of problem if I don't change it and make it integer. I plus plus. All right. And here r equals r times x semicolon, and at the end return r. Now what's the type of r? The type of r is double. That's why the function type should be also double. All right. Here I can call it double a equals p of double x, let's say 3, comma, integer y to the power 3. Okay, that's supposed to be 27. C out. This a. Let's run it. All right, run. Okay, so that's what we got. 27. Why? Because 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. All right. So this is the code I shared with you also. And now it's about time to start your assignment. Of course, I'll solve the rest of the questions to you after you finish your assignment. Now let me show you the assignment. Here is the assignment. Now, the assignment is in Word document. I want you to reply or to upload the same file, download it, solve the assignment, and upload it. So in this file, the name, if you cannot see it, let me just increase the size. Write your name, write your ID. Now you write your answer on this paper. You will tell me that I'm using like compiler, it's easy. You have snipping tool or print screen, just print it and paste it here. Okay. Or use a print screen. Anyways, or copy and paste the code that you've written. Write a function that takes two numbers. Now I want you to write a function that takes two numbers and returns the maximum number between these two numbers. Use this function in the main function. So I want you to write, open the compiler, write the function, select appropriate name, use check how many parameter does it need. It needs. Sorry. How many parameter, or will it return value or not to the main function. Then after you finish this, you have to use it in the main function. So I'll do the assignment now. I'll assign it to you. And again, by the way, it will be closed till 3. You have time till 3. After that, it will be closed. All right. So assign. I'll stop recording to avoid having lengthy recording.